All right, starting with the news alert just coming in, billionaire Indian industrialist Gautam Adani has been charged with paying hundreds of millions of dollars of bribes and hiding payments from investors. This as per US prosecutors on Wednesday.
Well, yeah, exactly him. And this indictment alleges schemes to pay over $250 million, all in bribes, to Indian government officials to lie to investors and banks to raise billions of dollars. Now, the US Attorney's Office in Brooklyn accused the executives of agreeing to pay hundreds of millions of dollars worth of bribes between 2020 and 2024 in a bid to obtain solar energy supply contracts expected to yield $2 billion in profits over 20 years.
So this is the latest that we're getting at the moment. It's billionaire Indian industrialist Gautam Adani who's been charged with paying hundreds of millions of dollars of bribes, as Shivan mentioned, to obtain solar energy supply contracts expected to yield $2 billion in profits over 20 years. And for more on this, we're now being joined by our correspondent Susan Teherani on the phone line. Susan, thank you so much for joining us. Big news coming in. Susan, what can you tell us about this?
Yeah, tremendous news. Well, 8 senior executives, including the billionaire chairman that you mentioned, Gautam Adani, they were indicted in Brooklyn for orchestrating a $250 million bribery scheme, as you mentioned, to secure solar energy contracts in India. Now, prosecutors allege the executive conspired to defraud U.S. investors by concealing bribes and misrepresenting anti-corruption practices, of course, while raising billions in financing. The U.S. Attorney, Brian Peace, stated, and this is a quote, "The defendants enrich themselves at the expense of the integrity of our financial markets." That's the end of the quote. And then FBI Assistant Director James Denny added, quote, "We are committed to exposing corrupt agreements that harm investors and violate U.S. law." So, we'll have to wait and see what happens with the scheme. Basically involves falsifying financial statements, bribery documentation, and attempts to obstruct justice. But the charges, of course, remain allegations unless they're proven in court.
Absolutely, Susan. These are allegations at this point. And of course, nonetheless, it's a big development overnight, and at least here for us in Asia. And that was Susan Teherani getting us the latest. This is a developing story which we will be tracking closely for you right here on WION.